Okay, so I'm going to use a few moments to try and brainstorm this idea that I'm working on. So, it's an idea for a story. It starts out with this guy named Jerry, and he's freaking out because he keeps switching between these two different personalities in his head. One is called positron, and the other one's called negatron, and they're the same person, positron and negatron, but they're from different universes. And in one universe, the positron universe, he's a superhero, and in one universe, the negatron universe, he's a supervillain. And Jerry is from our universe, so he's set in the real world. But he has these other personalities, which are really connections to the superhero and the supervillain characters from the two alternate universes. One is highly focused on being morally good, and the other is highly focused on being morally evil. And Jerry's being torn apart mentally because of it. And as he's kind of freaking out, Jerry is talking to like the psychiatrist guy, and the doctor is telling Jerry that he needs to calm down. They're not actually from parallel universes. He simply has multiple personality disorder, and that these personalities are not like beings from other universes communicating with him. He's just crazy. That's the moment when Jerry punches the mirror, and then you realize that Jerry's not talking to an actual doctor. That's just another one of his personalities, and he's trying to talk to the different personalities like positron, negatron, and the doctor in order to try and figure out what's going on. The doctor is just another manifested personality that he created in order to try and make sense of what's happening and why he's going crazy. He gets driven so nuts by this that he actually goes into a coma. And his sister Jenny comes to the hospital, and she's looking over him, and the doctor says that the coma is irreversible, and Jenny has the choice between having Jerry live on life support or pulling the plug and killing Jerry. So while that conflict is going on, we actually enter the spirit world for this part. So Jerry is essentially on the brink of death, and because of this, he has been able to enter like this other plane of existence, this world of spirits. And there we find that Jerry is aware of what's about to happen, of the fact that Jenny is considering killing him right then. So in desperation, he needs to escape the coma. So he's trying to talk to his other personalities and tell them that they're keeping them locked in this coma, and that the stress is overwhelming him, and that they'll have no way to actually escape from the coma, and they'll all die. So he's trying to convince them that if they don't band together, they'll all die like that. And then the personalities, the superheroes, superhero and supervillain, positron and negatron, reveal that they're not actually multiple personalities. They reveal that they are spiritual mercenaries. So they're essentially ghosts that people can hire in order to kill people. And that Jenny, who appeared to be Jerry's concerned sister, is actually the perpetrator who hired these spiritual mercenaries to possess Jerry so that Jerry would kill himself. So Jerry is now freaking out because they've been trying to get to him all along. And that's when he realizes that the doctor isn't there. And then he remembers that he is a doctor. He majored in quantum physics, and he minored in psychology. And essentially, while he was kind of going mad from the two spirits that had possessed him, he had forgotten a lot about himself. And the doctor bringing itself in as a personality was just one of his ways of coping. But he actually is a doctor, and he actually knows what he's talking about. So now that he understands that it's not a psychological issue, it's a spiritual issue, he starts to think from his quantum physics background. And he originally believed that it was parallel universes interacting because he studies interacting worlds, the idea that there are parallel universes and that goes into a bunch of quantum craziness. But what he essentially comes down to, like in his thought process, is that while these are spirit mercenaries, they still claim to be from other universes. So that wasn't just another part of his psyche being thrown into it. They claim to be from other universes, and as far as he knows, they are. They're not just ghosts that are hired to kill people, but they're ghosts that are hired to kill people who are from parallel universes. And if that's so, that means that parallel universes exist. And if parallel universes exist, then he also believes in the idea that the spirit world, if that exists, since apparently he's in it, then that would mean that all dead go to the spirit world. So if you die in another universe, it doesn't matter, you all go to the same spirit world. So he's decided that the positron that he thought was good must be evil, because he's like a spirit mercenary just like Negatron. But that also means that there must be a universe where there's a good Negatron and a universe where positron is actually good, and there's also a universe where they've died. So he focuses his will and he summons the spirit of the good positron and the good Negatron to come and combat his spiritual opponents. So now you have like the superhero supervillain battle going on in the spirit world. If Jerry's trying to come back to life so that his sister Ginny doesn't pull the plug on him and kills him from his coma, so that she can take his insurance policy money and be rich because he is a doctor, so of course he has a lot of money, and Ginny is his only remaining heir, so like their parents died, so she would be the only one that would get the money, and she would get all the money that he's earned himself through all the research. But he's mainly trying not to die. It's not a money trip or anything. So you have this big superhero supervillain battle, and the battle ends with Ginny waking up from her coma. Now here's the kicker. The kicker is that with all the stress and confusion from being possessed by spirits, Ginny mixed up the roles. So Ginny was like so overcome with stress, she was personifying herself. She was using her brother as the image for her, and her for the image of her brother. So she was so confused that she mixed up the two. And we've been following the whole story from Ginny's perspective, but Ginny thought she was Jerry, and she thought Jerry was Ginny. So now Ginny wakes up from the coma and surprises Jerry, but Ginny is still confused that like all this has happened. But now Jerry's trying to apologize because he's pretty sure that Ginny knows everything that's happening, but Ginny doesn't care because Ginny's ran into like this huge discovery. A collective spirit world exists and like parallel universes exist, and Ginny has to tell the world. But when Ginny like is having this eureka moment in the hospital, Jerry is essentially going to act like, oh, I'm sorry that all this happened, and because Ginny is taking it so lightly that everything happened, who knows what will unfold in the future. That's essentially the end of like a chapter 1. And I tried to throw in as many plot twists as I could, make it superhero related but not a superhero dominant story. Tell me what you think about the world that's been created, all the twists and the characters. Post down in the comments below what you think, and stay tuned for more content. Hey guys, note to self, the episode that Jonathan was looking for is September 29th. That's the one where me and Jonathan were making plasma in the microwave. So yeah, stay tuned for more content. Hey guys, room 407 has a surprising number of ladybugs, just like all over the place. I'm not sure if you guys really get like a clear view of them, but there are quite a few in here. I guess they're really too small for you to like take a lot of notice to them. But I mean, they're like all over the place. By the way, Kelly Mays is actually a pretty cool white female rapper. I'm actually exploring the atmosphere of white female rappers and seeing which ones I like and which ones I don't like. I'd recommend Kelly Mays. She has a very interesting flow, and her song Third Eye actually appears to talk about not only like third eye chakra, but indigo children and different things like that. Also, there are more ladybugs in this corner. Yeah, those are definitely easier to see. Whew. But yeah, so yeah, check out Kelly Mays. I wouldn't recommend V Nasty. V Nasty is not very good at all. I don't even like V Nasty. Oh, and I'm texting with a lot of people right now. Jonas says he'll go to the hockey game, and Nick is interested in going to the hockey game. The hockey game I'm referring to is the one that's going to be at the Von Braun Center this Friday. Oh, and as you guys already know, me and Hannah are really into hockey, so Hannah's probably going to go. I'm not sure. Nick might ride with Cameron to go to the hockey game, or he may ride with John. If he doesn't, he can just ride with Hannah and I. That'd be fine. That is, if Hannah's okay with that. I mean, I can't force Hannah to take Nick. But yeah, right now I'm just chilling out. Gonna probably work on some philosophy now, get that reading out of the way so that I'm not doing it late tonight or anything weird like that. Actually, I may text out Ray, see if Ray wants to come up to 407 and study some of the philosophy stuff that's gone over so far. He wanted me to do a review session with him recently, but at that time I didn't have time. Right now I have time to spend, so I'll hit him up, see if he's free, and we can go over that. He might be at the gym though. So yeah, you guys stay tuned for more content. Hey guys, how's it going? Blah blah blah. I texted Ray to see if he wanted to do philosophy. Blah blah blah. I'd like to hang out with Jonathan and play some Dominion later. We haven't done that in a while. Blah blah blah. I'd like to play Increasing Drama with the Hannahs and maybe make up an RPG and play with a group of people. Blah blah blah. That's what you missed. The reason why I keep going blah 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 is because you guys lost some footage, so this is me trying to summarize it as quickly as possible so that you guys can stay tuned for more content. I'm chilling out with Hannah. And
I look like a black man.
yeah, you did not look like you were facing the camera. It's that shadow. But yeah, right now we're chilling out. Oh, Hannah's window could not be fixed, so she's just kind of fixing that up. We're listening to Korean rap, where we were. Hannah's like, shut up, we're listening to it. Or you're talking, we're not doing both. Brianna, the one who lives...
So we're not listening to it, but you decided.
The one who lives a room that way.
Yeah.
She's working on a song. She's in the piano part, and then her friend is doing like the beat part, and she's wondering if I could rap on it, and she like sing. So that could be a thing. Open mic is Saturday. I probably won't be here because I'm normally not here for Saturdays, but if I'm able to make it, I might rap at like the open mic night or whatever. And I'm excited for the hockey game. Nick says he can go to the hockey game. Jonah's probably gonna go to the hockey game.
I don't know who Nick is.
Jonathan gets hyped for hockey. He'll probably be at the hockey game.
I don't know who Nick is.
So you want
I
to go?
don't know who the other person is either.
You want to go to the hockey game?
If Hannah goes, sure I'll go.
Okay, cool. Then that means Hannah's probably going to the hockey game. So,
I
yeah.
like hockey.
It is CHESH.
North Carolina Hurricanes. Go team.
UAH. I only know
I don't
college.
know. I know, but that's
Where you come from?
and that was the first game. Those were the first games that I've ever been to, and that was amazing. And then we tailgated at the Panthers, and I had a shirt signed by all the players for when I was like 7. No, 6. I think it was 6. That's why I like the Panthers. They're kind to their fans.
You missed it. We were hype as fuck in the cafeteria. I was like playing music, and at one point we had like Lil Debbie going on with like Sunreal. I started off with like 70s, 80s, and 90s disco. We just kind of like kept going from there. Also, Have you seen the memes for Hotline Bling? I don't give a fuck if you heard the song. I don't give any shits about the song. But have you seen those memes, though? Look that up. Hotline Bling memes. They are fantastic. People are really creative with their memes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should Google it. Google Hotline memes right now. It's a thing. You should do it. Totally. Totally radical. Totally tubular. Hannah wants to watch the video. Alright, okay. So, stay tuned for...
More content and creativity.
Yeah.
And she ended up trying to get the shovel out, and it whacked the wasp's nest.
Oh dear.
They swarmed the shit out of them.
Like
They were, like, literally, as they were running, they were stacked, like, they were killing the bottoms of her feet. And she kept running, and he was running next to her, and, like, they were both getting stung everywhere. Next thing, her friend notices, and he's like, "You've got a really big face." And my mom goes, "It hurts!" But, like, through, like, swollen lips, swollen extremities, it's bad. Okay, so that's my mom's story. My dad's story, worst ass whooping he has ever had. His uncle had a watermelon, like,
A patch?
Yeah, he had a watermelon patch. But, to hide from his wife, he had some of the watermelons not watermelon-y. They were full of moonshine.
And that's how the story starts.
Okay, so he was a believer of cannabis and herbal remedies. So
What year does this take place?
My dad was born in 65, so this would be, he was 16 when this happened.
Mid-70s.
So,
Yeah. So he was very...
no, early 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, because you had 16 to 65.
Very early.
Yeah.
So it would be past
81.
the 70s by then.
Anyway, yeah. But just asked.
Because by
I think
10,
he was
he
still
would...
in 70s though.
What? Then some numbers are wrong.
Hold
Because
on.
by 10, it would be 1975.
Hold on, I'm thinking.
So it'd be like 1981.
I'm gonna say he was still in the 70s, so he was about 14.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when it clicked.
sure.
He was 14.
So late 70s.
Yeah. And he ended up, like, they smoked weed. I mean, my grandmother was not supposed to know. They totally knew.
My grandmother wasn't supposed to know.
I thought
Oh,
she
no.
was about to say, my grandmother didn't approve. Little did they know she was smoking in the back. She had our own supply.
My grandmother, right now, if you met her, she's not the ass-whooping type. She's like, "Oh, Ryan, you fell off the roof. We gotta go to the hospital. Oh, you poor thing."
That's because when you're not looking, she's on that THC.
No.
She calm as fuck all day.
She lives in, like,
In
nowhere.
Towers?
No, she lives in nowhere.
No, you didn't play Fallout. Never mind. It was a Fallout reference.
So does she
No.
live in half past grow o'clock? Grow your own supply?
She lives surrounded by, like, I don't think she gives a fuck.
Why
She lives in East Jordan.
Michigan.
There's literally,
Michigan, okay.
yeah. I can't read that.
This is one bad question, Sophie and Lisa Simpson's on.
So, he ended up, he was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do this." And he smoked with his uncle, and his brother was smoking with him. And they ended up getting drunk at the same time, because they were like, "Hey, you want some watermelon?" And of course, they don't carve out the watermelon.
No.
You keep that shit in. And he was like, "Hey, you want some watermelon?" And they were like, "Sure." And they ate some watermelon, fucking high and drunk at the same time. My dad and uncle, my dad describes it like this. Walking to my grandpa. "We're good." She was like, "Get your ass to the car." She whooped them so
so bad. And I can't see my grandmother doing that. I don't think anybody could see my grandmother doing that.
Your dad can now.
My dad goes, that ain't the same woman that beat me. It's like, grandmother beat you? She makes fucking pies.
I know. You call your grandmother grandmother?
Apparently my grandpa was
Grandma.
a huge badass. And I was like, you mean Philip Norman Swafford? Like,
Philip Norman Swafford.
like, what?
It's such an old man name.
Swafford, what?
Hey, back
Grandma
in my
Swafford?
day, I used to be Swafford. I got all the bitches.
I can't
Like
remember
Grandma Swaff, like really?
if
Like,
that
what?
was before my grandmother remarried. I can't remember if that was before.
Fucking before she remarried, that was bad. She was a woman on a rampage. Cause she was single.
So she wasn't big.
No. She was a woman on a rampage with kids. Fucking whipping them every day. You did what at school? I made an A!
Not good!
Ain't good enough.
Stay tuned
Why you no doctor?
You got a
more
fucking
content.
98, son.
Oh no, it's not actually.
It's the hunger bleeding when you go to school. When you
I
get
know
home,
it
you better
is.
lose that attitude. That's what I got on a daily basis going to school in the morning.
So when I was really little with my brother, right? My brother's like crazy. He just like has like a authority problem, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, my
He didn't
grandma.
play enough chess.
Yeah, pretty much. My grandma.
He was a winner.
Yeah. My grandma is a firm believer in capital punishment, like switches.
Oh!
So-
I thought you meant like.
Killing your kids.
No.
Did you throw the football through the window? Grandma, what are you holding in your hand?
That's how my uncle.
That's what the mystery is, isn't it?
That's how my uncle became paralyzed. Actually.
Is it the
Throwing
gun
the
this
football
time?
through a window?
He went to go catch it.
Oh, okay.
He was
Through
like
the
5.
window?
He was 5.
He got
It was a
paralyzed
2-story
at
window.
5?
Well,
That's a two-story
He
window.
jumped through. I thought he was on the outside in.
No.
Because if he was, that nigga's Superman. But the other way around, that nigga's dead.
Paralyzed. You heard it.
Well, he didn't at first get paralyzed. He had like a brain thing, and it never really got fixed because it was the 70s and they didn't know.
Yeah, they didn't
So
know.
like he slowly became
So-
paralyzed until he died.
If you're paralyzed, does that mean your feet grow?
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything's normal. You just can't.
Usually the people that don't have like those have a different problem.
Well, no,
that
I
also
mean,
leads to
normally,
that.
Can you have sex if you're paralyzed from the waist
Some
down?
people
I mean, I don't think you
It
can
depends
You
which
would
participate.
vertebrae
really
you
feel
broke.
it.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Are you woman or man?
If you're a man.
It depends which
I don't
vertebrae is
know.
broken.
Can you get your dick up if you can't move?
Yeah, it depends which vertebrae is broken.
That's what we're trying.
If it's too low, if it's like lower than a certain point, it'll paralyze your legs, but the nerve will have already diverged.
Okay, so basically what he's saying, right here, you're fucked. Down here, you ain't.
You can't walk, but I mean you can fuck still. So anyway,
It's like,
my grandma
hey,
was like,
there are guys who don't have bottom halves, but they can still fuck a woman.
that's true.
I watched
So-
that documentary.
Oh.
I like how quickly that turns. Hey, did you know that there are people who suck horse dicks? I watched a documentary.
It was a documentary. So my grandma doesn't get mad about a lot unless we break something in our house. Like, because everything in our house is like 200 years old or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, my brother and I were doing something stupid. And she was like, go get a switch from the backyard. My brother, he's heard this 100 times before. He starts crying. I don't know what, like, she's like, why are you crying? I told you to go get a switch. He's like, I don't want to go. He heard witch.
Oh my gosh.
And was on the floor crying for like 30 minutes. And my grandma was just like, I guess this will do. This time.
That's hilarious.
This time. Next time you're getting a goddamn switch.
You gotta get a witch from the forest. She's gonna fuck you.
Also, the tip is you want the tiny ass ones.
Fuck.
What the fuck?
You did that. No.
No.
In
What are you
reality,
talking about?
if you went out and you got a switch, which is a stick off of a tree.
Why the fuck would you do that?
Education,
No,
my
no.
nigga.
You're about to get
It's
your
not
ass
really a
whipped.
stick.
Yeah, but
because
why?
It's gotta be those bendy sticks. So like weeping willows.
Is
What?
my mama called them. Whipping willows.
But they're
Anyway,
called, you know, they're
it's
called
like-
heaping.
Or like a bush.
But
My
a
dad
busted
would use
stick
those,
that's like
those
really
bitches
long.
hurt.
You want a skinny ass. You don't
Yeah,
want
but,
this
like,
one. You get it. They want you fucking like
Nigga.
score you like a baseball bat.
In real
No,
life.
but like, why don't they just use like a wooden spoon or some shit? Because this, you have to
It's
pick your
psychological.
punishment.
Anyways.
That's what it is.
It's psychological.
That's horrible.
Will.
I turned out just fine. My mama never put a hand on me.
In the world
You
of
are
real
good
niggas,
ones.
you
There
come
were
in
bad
with some
things,
shit that is
Anna.
insufficient. It's like a bank. Insufficient funds.
Y'all were bad
Go and work your
children.
job and get your shit.
Y'all were bad
Exactly.
children.
What do you mean y'all were bad children? My nigga, I kept forgetting my reading book at school. My mom drove me back to school and was highly upset with the fact I forgot my reading book. I went and I got my reading book, and you can walk through the building to get back to the car, or you can walk outside and back to like the parking lot. So I walked back to the parking lot. Mom was like, "I went through the school. Where were you?" "I'm whooping your ass." It's like, it depends. It depends on like how pissed they are. And I think the worst part about ass whoopings is when like you know it's coming, but like you get like a waiting period. It's like, "I'm whooping your ass tomorrow." It's like, fuck, like why can't you do it today? Why I gotta wait a whole 24 hours? And then it's like
The worst-
4 in the morning. You have a whooping your ass.
The worst is when your mom's like, "I ain't gonna whoop you, but I'm gonna tell your dad." You're like, "Oh."
My dad ain't doing shit, bruh. My dad was the type
No,
of nigga who
no, no,
grounds
no,
you.
no.
No, my
My
dad
dad-
would fucking throw this through the window.
Mom's
when
like,
he gets
I
mad.
got
No.
shoes, my nigga. I got belts, my nigga. She
With
had
my
to stop
dad.
using belts because I would show people where I got hit. She was like, I don't even evidence.
When my dad gets mad, he wouldn't hit me, but he would get, come here. He'd get like right the fuck in here, and he would point, and he would like get fucking, like, I thought my dad was gonna fucking kill me. Like, and he would scream, like he would never, and I would just be standing there crying, and he'd be like, "Do you want me to hurt you?" And I'm like, "No!"
Hannah, I love like your comparison because Hannah's never been whooped.
I have.
So Hannah will be like, "No, you don't even know. My dad would get in my face and point and yell really loudly to the point I was really afraid
I
that
would
he would
cry.
actually hurt me. You don't
My
even."
dad would give me panic attacks. It was so bad.
I have panic
Like,
attacks,
for real.
but-
Well, I
Alright,
mean,
my mother
ours would
does
do
this.
that, and then they fucking whip us the day later.
Hold on,
He would
I
give me
gotta.
panic attacks.
I gotta check the timer real quick. You'd have a panic attack if you got your ass
They'd be
whooped.
like,
Hold on.
"Ah!"
Stay tuned for
You're
more
getting your ass
content.
whooped.